A visit to a warehouse probably doesn't sound terribly exciting to you, but I want to take you to a warehouse in Salem that holds a lot of interesting stuff. Surplus stuff, things that you should care about. Why? Because you paid for it.
Recently just got in a huge shipment, 24 pallets of sandbags.
Darren Kennedy takes me on a tour of the government surplus warehouse in Salem. Did you know there is such a thing? When the federal government has a surplus, they sell it to local governments and nonprofits. The warehouse charges a commission to the buyer to cover overhead.
It's like a federally funded financial aid. It's items that are very expensive that they're making available at a fraction of the cost.
And where would these have come from now?
These came from FEMA, I believe, down in Southern California.
Okay.
Just didn't need them anymore.
This place is full of things that the feds just bought too much of and used items that still have value.
A lot of fire extinguishers, evacuation sleds, toolboxes full of tools.
What do we have back here?
CPR mannequins.
Where would you have gotten this, Darren?
Military band. We've got a whole cage full of instruments. We try to get as many instruments as we can possibly get our hands on because schools are just clamoring for inexpensive instruments.
We found more than a dozen computer monitors that were once used at the recently closed Umatilla Chemical Depot.
They were being used by personnel and whatnot there, and they didn't need them anymore, so they came to us.
A lot of it needs explanation.
These are house jacks.
And where would something like this have come from?
Oh, it looks like these are probably from Umatilla as well. I noticed, I recognize the stickers on them.
These brand new engines will sell for pennies on the dollar. This Unimog has barely been driven.
This has 761 miles on it.
So is all this federal surplus a waste of your tax dollars? Let's say the federal government buys a pair of Army boots like this and doesn't need them. They donate the boots to the surplus warehouse, who then tries to sell them to local, state agencies and nonprofits for a commission. If there are no buyers, they'll then try and sell them online and share the profits with the feds.
To get a fraction of what they originally paid for it, yeah, no, that sometimes doesn't sit well with me, but that's what I'm here to do, is to try and make sure local government agencies take advantage of that.
Many governments in Oregon, in fact much of the state, are required to look here first when making purchases.
So you have this buy decision where you go down this list and you say, okay, they don't have it, you go down to the next thing, they don't have it, they go down to the next thing, and surplus property is right up at the top of that list.
They also sell state property online. Last year they made $5.1 million in sales, returning $3.6 million back to local agencies. But if more government agencies looked here first before buying new, the return to you might be even greater because you paid for it. There are a lot of stories out there about projects you paid for we don't know about yet, and that's where you can help us out. Send me your story ideas to my email address, steved@katu.com, steved@katu.com. I'd love to hear what you think about today's story. Should local governments be buying more stuff from the surplus warehouse? We're posting this story on the K2 Facebook page. Grab a laptop, phone, or tablet while you watch, and you can join that conversation.